So, welcome to this live session from LKI on GKS Graduate Scholarship 2026. We are live on YouTube as well, and the session is being recorded, and it will help students. Like, it's not only for today, for those students who are going to apply for GKS Graduate this year, they will be watching this recording, in a students group of LKI as well as on YouTube. So we hope we can share some useful information with our students. Today, we have with us three scholars, three GKS scholars from year 2025, and they have been students of LKI School of Korean Language. So first of all, yeah, I would like to welcome them, and I would like to thank them for sparing their valuable time to be with us today and to agree to help our students. So we have with us Adhar Jain. Hello, Adharshi. And then
Yes,
we
Sandeep.
have Pooja Kanojiya Shi, and then we have Ayushi Patel. So let's just start with a brief introduction of the three GKS scholars. So what uh, you can do is you can just give a brief background of yourself, like what were you studying before applying for GKS, and right now what you are studying at which university and under which track you got selected, all these brief details. And also briefly, if you can include, like, in Korean language, like what levels had you completed before applying for GKS. So let's start with Adhar Jain.
네, 선생님, 안녕하세요. How have you been, sir? Hello, everyone. My name is Adhar, and right now I am studying in Korea. I was just selected last year as a GKS Graduate Scholar for 2025.
Adhar, just one second. I'm really sorry to stop you. I
Sure.
think there is some background noise. Let me check like where it is coming from, and I think, yeah, it's gone. I think it was from YouTube streaming somehow. Yeah, I'm really sorry for that. I think it's okay now. Yeah, so let's restart. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's completely fine. I'll restart. So hello everyone. As I just said, my name is Adhar Jain, and I was selected as the GKS Graduate Scholar for 2025 last year. And right now I am in Daegu, as you might know, and I am completing my language year right now. For a bit of my background, I did my bachelor's in technology, BTech degree in 2025, in 2024, and I was completely unaware of this scholarship. So as soon as I passed my bachelor's degree, I was informed through these online resources that these kind of scholarship exist. So I researched a bit about it and prepared all my documents, and luckily I got selected in this. About the skills that I had in Korean language, I was studying Korean since 2024 January, and just after 6 months I got to know about this scholarship. Just for, as you know, for the level 1, 2 and 3 I have studied up until level 3, and currently just last month I got my topic scores and I secured level 3 as well. And for the university, I'm studying at KIT. The full form stands for Como National Institute of Technology, and my master's degree is in artificial intelligence. Um, Apart from that, everything has been going great, and I'm really, really, really thankful for this opportunity to talk to all you people right here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adhar. Thank you so much. And one quick follow-up. You applied through university track or embassy track for GKS?
Yeah, I applied for the university track,
University
and
track.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we'll be asking you more questions, but later. Yeah. Next, let me go to Pooja Kanojiya.
Thank you, Satish sir, and it's good to see you again. Hi everyone, my name is Pooja Kanojiya. I'm basically from Mumbai. So my background is I did my graduation. I have double graduation in commerce and law, and then I started studying Korean language in 2024, and through my friends I got to know about this institute, and wherein I started preparing from GKS from the same group. Like, my friends told me that there is a scholarship that exists which is fully funded, and before applying to GKS, I had my level 1, and thanks to LKI Institute for that. I am selected through a university track, a sub track called Global Network Track, wherein my
Mhm.
university participated. So currently, I'm studying at KDI School of Public Policy and Management, wherein I'm studying public policy in regional development and environment with data science. So, but previous to my experience, I had experience of working in a non-for-profit sector for like more than 6 years. So that's the pretty background of it. And this is in Sejong City, which is like 1.5 hour away from Seoul by bus.
They
Thank you.
haven't made it the capital yet, right?
No,
Officially,
no,
it is supposed to be the capital city
it's
of
it's
Korea.
it's currently the administrative capital. Now they are trying to bring everything like legislative and
Yes,
constituent
yes.
assembly in Sejong City.
Right, right, right. It's going on for many years, I think,
Yes,
more than a
yes,
decade.
yes. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you,
that's it.
Pooja.
Thank you.
Let's go to Ayushi Patel now.
Yes. Hello, thank you so much, sir, for having me here today. So, hello guys, my name is Ayushi Patel, and I'm from Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh. This was my first time applying for GKS scholarship, and thankfully I got selected. So, I came to know about this scholarship when I was enrolled in my bachelor's degree program, and I did my bachelor's in business administration. So in the first year of my bachelor's degree, I came to know about the GKS, and since then I made up my mind that I wanted to apply for this scholarship. So in all of the 3 years of my bachelor's degree, I focused on strengthening my academic profile, like maintaining good grades, participating in extracurricular activities, taking up leadership roles, being a part of some councils or communities in my university. So that's how I made my academic background strong. And after my graduation was completed, I was like completely aware about all the rules, regulations, how to prepare for the scholarship. So I take my good time to research about it in all the 3 years and watched plenty of videos. So after my graduation, I decided to because I'm from a business background and many universities ask for experience in business field. So I took up a job and worked there for 1.5 years as in like a management background, and then only I prepared for the GKS. Prepared my application, and along with my application, I also joined the LKI Korean language program, and where I did my level 1 and level 2. Unfortunately, I couldn't give the TOPIK exam because I couldn't secure the seat, but I did have the level 1 and level 2 certificates, which really helped in my application. And then I applied for the GKS, and I got selected. So I'm currently studying in Dongso University, which is located in Busan, and I'm currently doing my language year here. And my major is business administration, master's in business administration, and yeah, that, and also like applied through the RGKS track. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So, and yeah, so thank you, Adar and Pooja and Ayushi. And we also have with us two other instructors from LKI, Pooja, Pooja Madane and Ishita Pillai. So they will be also like helping with questions and asking follow-ups as needed. So yeah, welcome Pooja and Ishita as well. So let's formally start. So many of the students probably would be watching this video, but this will be their first information point for information about GKS. Actually, they haven't seen anything or read anything about GKS, and maybe they want to get all the basic information about GKS through this video. So briefly, GKS is global. It's the full form is Global Korea Scholarship. It's a prestigious scholarship. I think the best scholarship that Korean government provides to the very talented students from all over the world. I think there are more than 60, 70 countries to which this scholarship is given. And they provide it for undergraduate degrees as well as for master's and PhD. So there are these two different sessions for GKS. One is for undergraduate, which is announced in September, October every year. And those who have passed their high school uh, or still pursuing their graduation, they haven't completed their bachelor's degree, they can apply for this scholarship to do their bachelor's degree in Korea. And then there is this GKS Graduate Scholarship, which we are talking about, focusing on today, which is announced in January, usually, or early February sometimes, every year. And this is for master's and doctorals, PhD degrees in Korean universities. This year, the GKS Graduate Scholarship announcement hasn't come out yet, but it will be coming soon. And mostly the rules and all the information, all the processes are very, very similar every year. There are some changes sometimes in the process and everything. So those things, whenever the announcements come out, if there are any changes, we will update through various modes. But most of the things are going to be the same as last year. So we'll be focusing on the commonalities, not on the exception parts or changes. So in both the GKS sessions, undergraduate and graduate, there are two tracks basically: embassy track and university track. So either you can apply through the Korean embassy in India, or you can send your applications directly to the university where you want to study. These two tracks are available. Which track is better? We don't know. I will ask our scholars if they know, if they have any idea about that. Uh, but both tracks have their plus and minus points. So if you apply through the university track, the process is like your application is received by they have like a now Korea Education Center, which handles all these things. So they receive your application, basically operated by embassy. And then the first round is conducted by them. They do the screening, shortlisting of all the documents, this your credentials and everything. They also conduct interviews as required. And then if you are selected in the first round, then your application is sent to basically NIID, which is the agency of the Korean government that handles the GKS, National Institute for International Education. So they receive your applications, documents, and they send it to the universities. So in embassy track, you can apply to up to 3 universities. Last time in undergraduate, there was a change, like they had included RGKS and general GKS. So we don't know if in graduate also they're going to do the same thing now, that you can apply to either 2 or 3 universities. We will see that. But yeah, you can apply to more than one universities through embassy track. Then your application is sent to these 2 or 3 universities, and then they go through your documents. They may conduct another round of interview if needed. And then if you are selected by the universities, you get the scholarship. If you apply through the university track, you can apply to only one university and your application go directly to them. Your application documents go directly to the university. First, they will conduct the interview and shortlisting and everything. If they decide that you are a good student, they want to take you in, they will send this information to NIID. And then NIID will decide if like they have the quota and they want to take you in or not. So basically, there will be only 2 rounds. There is no third round or anything. I hope I am right about the overall process. If anything I missed, or if there is any correction that you would like to, point out, any of the scholars, you can add. Or is it okay?
Yeah,
Or is there that is
pretty much
overall the
everything is
process?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So now one by one, let's go through the most common confusions and most common, doubts or questions, queries about the GKS that we receive from our students and in general from potential GKS scholars. So first, let's talk about eligibility. because many students are confused about the eligibility. I have this 6.5 grade. I have, because every university in India, they follow a different grade system. So how do they know that they are eligible for GKS or not, or they can apply for GKS or not? Let me ask this question to Aadhar Shifast. Yeah, can you explain the eligibility part?
Sure. For the eligibility, as far as I know, in the guideline sections, there is a separate dedicated page that shows us a table where they have different scales mentioned. So if your university gives you on a scale of 10 or maybe on a scale of 4, so you can just check it out. But for me, the very easiest way to know if I'm eligible or not was the 100 scale, like the percentage we usually get in India.
Right, in
So
universities. Mhm.
I just converted my grades into percentage, and it was really easy for me. If I'm above 80%, my overall
Or not.
percentage, so I was eligible for that. So even if you are like 81 or 80 point something, then you are eligible for it. You just need
Mhm.
to have something above 80.
Mhm.
And it's completely fine to feel nervous if you are really close to 80, towards close to 80, but you just need to pass the eligibility because that is what you have already done.
Mhm.
The scores itself are not the only thing that you're going to submit. So you just need to see it as an eligibility, and you can cover with the rest of the things, extracurriculars and also. So the eligibility part is very easy to go to. You can have the online converters to convert your grade. You can ask your university, and all of it is explained in very detail in the guidelines in a separate section. So it's pretty easy to like look about it.
Okay, thank you. Anything you would like to add, Pooja, about the eligibility?
Yeah, I would agree with Aadhar that grade you just need for eligibility, because I myself, my university gave a grade on like 7 scale, so I need to
Mhm.
convert, and my grade was just 2.68. So
Mhm.
just one below the this, but I still made it in my first attempt. So yes, you need to set on the eligibility. Don't worry on the
Mhm.
grade, I would say.
So basically, what you were saying is, because many people have this confusion that only the people who have like 90 plus or 95 plus get selected. There is nothing like that. If you make it like 80%, you are eligible, and then other things are seen, like
Other
your.
things matters. How do you write your personal statement, your study
Mhm.
plan? That matters a lot.
So if someone has a 95% score, but like his overall profile is very weak,
Yeah,
then
there
you know
is a
the
possibility that he could get rejected. It's not
mm,
just the one criteria, it's the overall application.
mm.
Yeah.
What about like sometimes like we get this because people, when they check the eligibility, and if they find that, oh, I am like I missed this by 1% or 2%, I have 78, 79, they get disheartened, and they ask us sometimes, like we get this, like, can we not apply? Is it not really possible? Yeah, I just have 1% less. What do we suggest them? Like if someone has like less than 80, less slightly, like can they still apply? Does it matter? I usually tell them, if you really want to say, there is no one like is forcibly stopping you from apply. You can see, you can check. You have nothing to lose. You will maybe lose some money for attestation and all these things, but you can try if you want. What is your experience? Like you must have met other judges. Like is there a possibility that such people can get selected if they have slightly less?
Still, I would agree with you that just give it a try. You never know
Yes,
what's gonna happen. Even if
exactly.
it's like few pointers, less don't let yourself down. I would say just apply. If it would have been me, I would have applied and just focused on my personal statement and study plan and whatever is there. That some universities prefer. I mean, grade is an eligibility criteria, but it other things also matters. So you never know what may come out.
Exactly. So yeah, because I personally know one or two people who didn't have 80%. It was long, but I would say not recent, like more than 5 years back, they got selected. So there must have been something very, very strong in their profile. They decided to apply, and they got selected. So I would say, yeah, you can give it a try if you want. But yeah, technically, if you're not eligible, you know, you can't blame them if you're not selected, right? Uh, another thing about eligibility is like even if you don't have 80%, but if you fulfill the criteria of being top 20% in your class, right, that is also going to work. So Ayushi, would you like highlight that point? Like, how do we prove that we are in the top 20% of our class?
Sure, sir. So, like, even if you don't have the 80% or any of the eligible scale
Mm-hmm,
grading, then if you are like among the top 20 in your class, then you
mm-hmm,
can show that and you will be eligible. In my case also, it was the same. Like, you just have to get a certificate from your university or your school that you were among the top 20 students in your class. So you can submit that certificate, and there is nothing to worry about. You will be eligible. And as Pooja and Adhar already said that it's just for eligibility, and other than that, they say a lot of things. So in my case
mm-hmm.
also, like because my university follows different grading scale, it was
Okay.
like not normal percentage, it was weighted average percent, which
Mm-hmm.
is like not just the normal percent. So because of that, I had 79.8%
Okay.
out of 100. But because I was the class topper and the gold medalist, so I had a rank certificate. So I submitted that, and along with that, my university didn't agree to give me a certificate proving my grade conversion. I did converted my grades from Scholaro, but they didn't approve it because they are not aware about the grading scales followed by the Korean universities.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I converted my grades, wrote a self-declaration letter that I have converted my grades from
Mm-hmm.
Scholaro, and if you have any like confusion or doubt, you can cross-check my grades through
Mm-hmm.
my transcripts. But
Mm-hmm.
because of such reason, my university cannot approve these grades. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that also worked in my case. So if people are doubtful about it, you can give it a try. And also, I submitted my rank certificate, so I was already eligible. Thank you.
That's a very useful information because like in India, you know how the system works. So sometimes like they won't even agree to like just give you a signature. It doesn't take anything, but people are just rigid sometimes. So many students complain that their university, some universities have hundreds of students, in a batch, and they are the clerical people in the office. They are like, how do we know if you are in 20%? We don't have the time to check the grades of 100 and 200 students. We are not interested in giving money. In that case, like, how do we prove it? So you said that you just converted the, and regarding grades also, like we get this complaint a lot that my university is saying that we will not sign on any conversion, or we will not give you the converted grades or anything. This is the only thing that we are going to give you. In that case, you are saying that you just added a self declaration with you know the Scholaro conversion document, right? That this is the conversion. There was
Yeah,
no sign or
exactly.
anything from the university on that, and still it got accepted.
No, no, I just yeah,
Oh,
because
that's
I
good.
had rank certificate as well. I was the
But you had a
topper
rank
of the
set.
class, so I was
But
yeah,
rank proves that you are in the top 20%, right? But it does the regarding grade
yeah,
conversion, like this is the correct grade or not. Your self declaration worked, right? You are saying, because many
yeah.
students
I think
are
it
not
was.
able to apply just because they're not able to get this grade conversion signature, or okay. So yeah, so the top 20% later you will need, obviously, because without that, like, either your grade should show that you have 80% or above, or you should get to a top 20% later from the university, showing that you are in the top 20% in your batch. So yeah, even if you don't have any of these, again, if you want to try your luck, there is no harm. You can apply. Okay. Let's come to the documentation part. Now, in the documentation, let's first, every year there is some change. Uh, Many people are confused about if they are expected to graduate this year, can they apply for this or not? Any of you can answer. Like, I shouldn't have to, call your name. Uh, can expected to be graduate student apply this year or not? This year we don't know, but last year how was the scene?
I'm not particularly aware about this case because after I graduated and got my degree, that's
Mhm,
how I applied the next year. But
mhm,
from some of the fellow scholars I know,
mhm,
there was a bit of timeline. Like you can still apply, but if you get your graduate degree up until
mhm,
July, I guess, then you have to submit it anyway. You cannot leave
mhm,
that part. You
mhm,
can submit a document saying that you are expected to graduate in a
mhm,
particular time, and you will get that document from the university.
mhm,
Just apply to the scholarship through that, and when the
mhm,
time comes, submit the original degree as well. So it works, but it is very time bound. If that
mhm,
timeline works for you, then you
mhm.
can go ahead. But without the degree, and if it is going to come after the application closes, I think it's going to be difficult. You cannot go that way. That's how much I know. The other scholars can add to this.
Is it anything you want to add, Pooja and Ayushi?
No, I think for me, I'm like as he said, Ala said, like yes, there is certain timeline to it. That's all I know
Hmm.
because I
So
did.
as no, 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 thank you. So as far as I know, um, I think 1 year back or 2 years back, they had clearly mentioned in the rules that we don't want any expected to graduate. You should have the certificate right now in your hand. Only then you can apply. They made it very, very clear. But then again, they changed that. Okay, if you can submit by July this date, that is fine. So you will have to see what is the rule this year. That will be mentioned very, very clearly in the guidelines. Okay, so but yeah, it's 100% sure that you need to have your certificate by July before you enter Korea. Otherwise, even if you are selected, they will not let you in. So if you are sure that you will get your certificate by July at least, or by August, I don't know, the date will be mentioned in the document, then probably you can apply. Otherwise, no. And one more thing I want to add here about provisional certificate. Many students, many universities in India, after you graduate, they give you just a provisional certificate. They give you the original certificate after sometimes 1 year, sometimes 2 years. uh, we have random rule about that. So in that case, I want to add here that that provisional certificate is basically your certificate, so you can apply with that. In India we call it provisional, but it's not provisional. It's just, if it is saying that you have graduated on this date, that means it's a certificate. If it is saying that you are expected to graduate, then it's not going to work. But if it says clearly that you have graduated on this date and this is the certificate that we are issuing temporarily, we will issue a more fancy certificate after 2 years. It doesn't matter, you can submit it. So what is the name of that certificate doesn't matter. What it is saying is what matters. So even if you have a provisional certificate which mentions the date of graduations in past, it will work. So you can apply with that. So you are basically regarding the documentation. Ayushi, would you like to like what documents did you add with your application? Educational documents.
In educational documents, the most important is your degree certificate and transcript. After
Mhm,
that, you need a recommendation letter. In
mhm.
past, like you used to you have to give the two letters, but now you just need one recommendation letter,
One. Mhm.
and then yeah, and then other than that, your personal statement and study plan come,
So you added the
and
documents
you
for
need your
only grad. Sorry for interrupting. So educational documents, the mark sheet and certificates only for your bachelor's degree, or you added for 10th and 12th as well?
no, you just need your bachelor's degree certificate.
Okay. And what about, like, do you have to submit semester wise mark sheets or one consolidated certificate? Like, what was it like?
No, I had one combined mark sheet which mentions my grades of all the
All
semesters.
the
So I
semesters.
just, yeah, I asked my university to give me a transcript which has all the grades from all of my semesters and one combined grade.
Okay. What about Aadhaar? How did it work for you, the documentation part?
Yes, I would like to add on this. It is really important, I guess, to have these semester-wise grades because
Mhm.
even the application form, you need to fill out some fields where you have to mention semester-wise grades. And it's really good if you have all the semesters mentioned because
Mhm.
if your grades are going up, it will show them a bit of things that from semesters you're
Right.
growing in your grades or not. And at the end, it's really important to have an aggregated score where it shows the overall score. So for my case, I have both the semester wise as well as in the end, the aggregated score in the same transcript. That's how it worked for the mark sheet, the transcript, and the degree certificate. Apart from that, I think, yeah, it's very important to submit just the most recent education you had. You don't need to
Mhm.
submit 10th or
Previous
12th.
one. Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just need the one you just completed. And degree transcript, these are basically the most important education documents. The rest of the things are there, but for education, these two are the main things.
Okay. And also, if you don't have 80% in your 12th, 10th, it doesn't matter. Like, it's totally fine. If you have the eligibility in your final recent degree, it's okay.
Exactly.
Also, yeah, it can be bachelor's degree or master's degree if you are applying for PhD. Uh, yes. Anything to add, Pooja, for anything was different for you in terms
Yes,
of
since
documentation?
yes, since I had two bachelors, so it was very
Mhm.
difficult which bachelors to do I put.
Okay.
So I just put which was eligibility, would satisfy the eligibility criteria, which
Mhm.
was my graduation in accounts and finance.
Mhm.
And in other documents, I did submitted my 10th and 12th mark sheet with my CV because
Mhm.
the global network track is for the people who are experienced and they want to give the opportunities to the working professionals.
Right.
So therein I submitted my CV as well, and of course the certificates which whatever I have in terms of participation and stuff like that.
Okay,
So
okay, okay. Just one clarification. So, those of you like Ayushi and Pooja, you converted your grades, right? Your university followed a different grading system. So, in that case, you submitted the original mark sheets. There is a thing called transcript. Did you have that? Because there is a lot of confusion about transcript. What is a transcript?
So for me, it was like
Mhm.
I did not have the conversion certificate. I didn't do it by myself. I went to
Mhm.
university, which is Mumbai
Mhm.
University, and they were aware of this
Okay.
GKS four-pointer thing. So, and it's
Okay.
for only for the commerce department. So I went there, they gave me the conversion certificate, and I submitted original conversion certificate with
Mhm.
the transcript that I got from my college. And yes, that's the two documents that I submitted. And the final graduation commencement certificate, the convocation certificate that has been
Convocation.
given by the university.
Okay. Ayushi, in your case also, it was the same.
So
You said that
I
you
did
submitted with
submit,
self-declaration
yeah,
and the mark
I
sheet of
submitted
the.
this. Yeah, but I did submitted the transcript which was provided by my university, and the
Hmm.
transcript is nothing but your like transcript has the grade your grades from all the semesters. Like it
Exactly.
has a separate like semester one, semester two, semester three.
Hmm.
So it like shows your semester wise grades and
Hmm.
also the overall grading at the end of your degree program. So that's what
Correct.
transcript is. It's just the combined result of all the semesters.
Yes. So in my case, when I had applied for GKS, uh, I didn't have the consolidated because at that time I was expecting graduation. I was in the final semester. So I had just submitted the individual certificate mark sheets of every semester. So I had submitted like basically five mark sheets for 5 semesters. And by the like July or August, I sent the final year, some final semester mark sheet. But yeah, if you can get the consolidated one, that will be great. Also, if you are expected to graduate, then maybe many people are confused, like what do we write in our CGPA? We don't have like a final CGPA yet. We are still yet to graduate. In that case, your current, right now, if you calculate your 5 semesters grade, what will be your cumulative grade? What will be your CGPA that you have to give? In the final semester, it may be less, more, it doesn't matter because it's not out yet. So right now, what is your grade? If it fulfills the criteria of 80%, then you are fine. Okay, so in terms of documents, you have to submit your mark sheets. and a certificate of your bachelor's degree or master's degree, and any conversion document, if you can get it stamped and signed by university, that, otherwise add a self-declaration. In terms of your major, many people are confused, like, can we change our major? If my major was history, but now I want to pursue fashion, can I do that? Like, what is your opinion? Like, what is your experience?
I think you can absolutely do that, but
Mm-hmm.
in your application, you should have a very good reason supporting the change in the major. Like, you should show them how passionate you are about pursuing fashion instead of history, and how you want to improve yourself in that background, and how you got inspired. If you have a very solid reason backing
Mm-hmm.
you up, then it's totally possible and they will accept it.
Other scholars, if you
Yeah,
have
it's
any.
actually really important because you have studied and given years to one major and you have
Mhm.
actually put your time in that.
Mhm.
So, apart from the reason, that reason might be big for you, but you need to
Mhm.
really prove it to
Mhm.
explain them why so many years of study and now you want to change it entirely. So,
Mhm.
even if you want to change, just
Mhm.
look out if you have a different major, but it connects somehow to the major you studied back then. If it's completely different, then you need to have that big. If the change is this big, then the reason should be bigger than that because they are going to have questions why a sudden change like this. And if some reasons seems very strong to you, just think from the perspective of the selection committee because this thing is not usual to them to get a change in the major. Like for me, I had the really exact major, but if you are looking out on a change of a major, that is definitely possible. Many students do that.
Mhm.
But you
Mhm.
need to be really specific about your motivations, how you are going to cope up with a completely new thing, and
Mhm.
what actually got you into looking out for a new thing. So,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely work really hard on that. If you want to change your major, it is definitely possible, but it requires a lot more effort like that.
Mhm. Yeah, Pooja, you want to add something?
Yes. So for me, I had two bachelors, which was completely different, and then I'm doing
Mhm.
masters in public policy, which is again a different field.
Different
But
major.
and they, however, so however, it is like we need to have a strong link between why we want to choose a different major. For example, for me, I come from a not-for-profit background, and my aspiration is to work in another not-for-profit, which is an international organization. So
Mhm.
I linked my aspiration, some past experience from my not-for-profit to why I want to do this major. So that's how I linked it. And it has to be a very strong reason to support your the reason for doing masters, a different master, different major.
Mhm.
That's what all I want to add.
Exactly. So all that matters is, like, let's say maybe I studied mathematics in my bachelor's, and all these years, but let's say I want to pursue, I want to go to film direction. They understand it. It's possible that maybe you developed a passion for music out of a sudden, or for football or something, and you want to major in that subject. As long as you can convince them that, hey, this is a very, very, genuine reason, this is what happened, and this is what motivated me to take this measure, and I think I can really do something, I think they will understand. If you can convince the people around you, maybe you can convince the university also. But if you're the people around you are like, what are you doing? Like, you have studied, for example, let's say a history, and suddenly you want to become a doctor, you apply for medical, the people around you will also be very, very, skeptical, like, it doesn't seem very, very reasonable. So probably the university will also be feeling the same, right? So the change shouldn't be like really wild. Like, you have studied, for example, history or arts in bachelor's, and you're applying for medical, or IT is definitely okay, because IT is something that I think everyone can use, and so you can, maybe it will be easy to prove. But it shouldn't be like chemical engineering if you choose after studying history. That will be like, yeah, that will take some convincing, right? So yeah, Korean people, they don't, because if they wanted only this people from the same major, they would mention it in their guidelines. They haven't mentioned. So you can definitely technically apply, And if you can convince them that this is the reason why I want to make this change, I think it's definitely possible. One more thing, like one question that we get is, though I would add this thing, I would emphasize this thing, that please everyone, even if after like watching this video, and no matter how many GKS scholars you follow on Instagram and how many videos you watch, nothing, there is no alternative for reading the guidelines. You should read the guidelines yourself properly. Okay, you can't say ki, but someone said this and those people said this, so that's why I did it. It is your application, it is your responsibility to check everything and verify everything. So go through the guidelines properly. Most of the things are mentioned there. And when you are asking someone a question, let's say some influencer, some person online, or even your teachers at LKI, you should, like, they should feel that you have already done your homework, you have checked things first, and then you are asking a question. Otherwise, like, if your questions are not good, your answers will also that you will get will not be good. So yeah, make sure to do that. So one question that I get is, the list of universities and available majors are there in the list of documents of GKS. They have a list of all the universities and all the available majors. But still we get this question from some students, that can I apply for medical? Like, can I become a doctor by studying in Korea, or law? Have you checked it thorough? Because I haven't gone through the list of all the, 65 universities and hundreds of majors. So I'm not sure. Is it available, medical major? A law major?
I'm
Mm,
not sure about that medical major. But if it is there, then if the university names are there, then we can
mm.
just look out on their official websites
Exactly,
and
yeah.
we can find that out.
Yeah. No, I think the GKS, if in the sets of documents that GKS releases, there is an Excel sheet where they give like the names of all the universities and all the majors that are offered under GKS. So I think you should do your homework, because if you want to apply, I think it is your responsibility to check. You can just use Control F and find if medical is there, or and you can easily. But I doubt it. I don't know, because there are some fields like medical and law, where I think they don't want like just random selections to have, because like these are very very competitive fields in Korea. Even Korean people, I think there will be a lot of complaints and all if they just offer, and they are expensive also. The fees is very very high for medical and law fields. So probably, but I am also not 100% sure. You can just check the list and see if those majors are available or not. Okay, now about one very, very important thing, your letter of recommendation. So many students say that the teachers are not ready to give LOR. The teachers who taught them, who have left the university, they are not available now. We are not able to contact them. We live in a different city. In those, like, did any of you face those situations, finding it difficult to, get the LOR?
I just contacted the professors I used to study under, and they were actually more than happy to give that out to me. But given I actually contacted with them about a month ago, because
Mhm.
they are full-time professors, so they need to
Yes.
clear out their schedule. So the things took time, but I think they got ready for it because I told them that I have these things ready, and whatever works best for you, I can visit and I can do this. I think you need to show that you are willing to put 95% of the work and their work is to 5%. Just check how the things are and just
Yes,
hand it
yes.
out to you. So I
Mhm.
think if you really show it that
Mhm.
most of the part is done and it's
Mhm.
not going to be a additional work for them because
Mhm.
already they are full-time professors. So they are going
Yes.
to feel like one additional thing to do. So just show
Mhm.
them ki it's going to not take much of the time. Just
Mhm.
things are like this. Make it easy on them so they will, I think, not have any issue to issue a letter of recommendation to you. But one very important thing that I got as an advice, um, go for the professors only, not the HOD or the some person in the very high authority or the position.
Mhm. Dean, or
Yes,
vice
exactly.
chancellor, or anyone. Mhm.
Exactly. Higher position does not mean you will have a higher chance. It is
Mhm.
like the people who have the most time around you. That is the
Mhm.
professors only.
Exactly.
Just go for them. And Even if a professor is an associate professor or a full-time professor, the position does not matter up until they are the people who taught you. So
Hmm.
just don't look out for the position they are holding. Look out for the people. When
Hmm.
they read their position, it actually shows, yes, they people are someone who were actually involved with the student. So they actually know him such that they can write a LOR.
Hmm.
I got it from professors only. Because of that reason, if I show a very high position, it does not really add up. The HOD
Right.
was available for this single student. Professors are
Exactly.
the people who are connected. So I took care of these things and it worked out really well.
That's very valuable information. Hmm. Yeah. What about Pooja and Ayushi would like to add something?
Yes, for me, for me it was like I reached out to my professors and she was like, okay, but the for me it was as I was working professional, so I thought of giving the references of my seniors, and for me it was an online recommendation as not the offline one since I applied to the university. So
Okay.
gave to people who were really with whom I was working, and then they gave recommendation, online recommendation for me.
So they accepted online recommendation?
Yeah, for
Like
my
because
it depends on the university. If your
okay,
university is having a specific rule that they recommend, they
they want
receive
online recommendation. Okay.
yes
Okay.
online, so you need to do that.
Okay. 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 That's good to know. So yeah, like Adhar uh said, keep the see from my experience, the recommendation should be from someone who fulfills two criteria. Number one, does the person have the academic credentials or capability to evaluate the candidate or not? For example, if I am a PhD in Korean language and you are applying for bachelor's in fashion degree, I can't evaluate you. Or if you have a fashion degree, I don't know anything about fashion. So even though I have a PhD and decade of experience, I don't have credentials and capability to evaluate a student whether he's good in fashion or not, or whether he's good in music or not. So my credential, my position, even if I'm the president of the university, doesn't matter actually in that case. I can evaluate that this student is hardworking, that I can say, but what is his potential in the terms of fashion? I don't know. So first of all, the credentials in that field, and the second, has this person spent enough time with you? Does he know you well enough to evaluate you? So let's say I get a recommendation from Narendra Modi that hey, he may write anything about me, but I haven't spent even a single minute with Narendra Modi. So obviously whatever he has written is doesn't make any sense. He just because maybe my father knows him, or just because he likes me, or someone convinced him to write, he wrote good things about me, but he doesn't know me, right? So those things, so the professor who have taught you, the teachers who have taught you, their recommendation will work. Even if there's some, in some cases, let's say, if you are working professional like Pooja, she is, in a case that professor was not available, even the recommendation from the someone higher up authority in the organization, like a senior manager, would also work because they know her capability personally. She has worked under them, so their recommendation will also be valid. So many students, they contact us, like me personally, that can you write a recommendation for me? I will be more than happy to write recommendation for all LKI students. I would like all of you to get selected for GKS and other good stuff. But will they accept it? That is the problem. Will that work for you? Because first, you how do I know you? First, it's an online course. It's a part-time course. It's a short-term course. I am teaching you only for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours in a week. That too online, and it's a part-time thing. So all these things I'll have to mention in the LOR. How do I know this student? So, and when they see this thing, they will consider it because I have a capability to evaluate a candidate in Korean language at least, but it will not be as useful as someone who taught you at your school or university or something. So if you can get it from a regular teacher, I think that will be the best. If you are really not able to get, then try to get, from someone. In some cases I have seen that the students were not able to get a recommendation from their recent or current teachers, professors. In that case, they contacted their past teachers. So let's say, for example, if you have done a bachelor's degree, but let's say it's totally impossible, 100% impossible to get a recommendation letter from your bachelor's degree university. In that case, you can go to your high school and find if some teacher is there who can write good things about you. If they can write that, hey, this student has studied for 12 years or 10 years under me, and this student has this potential, and then this student has done this BA degree and BSc degree or whatever, and I have monitored this student and guided this student, I think that will also be valid. Okay, and this is, and you can just explain that this is the reason why this student couldn't get the recommendation from his bachelor's degree teachers, so that's why I am recommending this student. I think it will work. So ultimately it should be convincing. It shouldn't be from some random tuition teacher who taught you for 2 months, or some computer course that you did for 3 months. Those kind of recommendations will not work. Yeah, anything that you would like to add, or Pooja and Ishita, feel free to ask follow-up questions if you have any, or if you want to add something, or if there is any related questions that the students have added in the documents form. If there is nothing about LOR, then let's move on to the extracurricular. How important do you think the extracurricular activities are? Like, and did you have any extracurricular, certificates or anything?
Yes, as far as I remember, extracurriculars were not much, but they were an important part of it. I made sure to attach the extracurriculars throughout the bachelor's that I did,
Mhm.
apart from the academics. Like, it is really important because you have good grades, and I don't know, somehow every student nowadays have really good grades, so
Yeah.
you need to set yourself apart. So from the extracurriculars, it can be really actually anything, but you need to explain how it shaped you, because every document that you put in the application, it
Mhm.
would be just a document if you don't refer to it in your SOP. You have
Right.
to mention a bit about it, because the paper, the document that you submit, is a justification, a proof of it that you did. In the guidelines, it is very clearly mentioned that whatever you mention in your SOP, you need, it's good if you attach a supporting document proving that that thing is legitimate. So for the extracurriculars, I was a part of like a teaching drive, and throughout the bachelor's degree, if you are like whatever your recent education is, if you are involved in some sort of a committee, you let some role, something out of the thing that you were studying. Like if it's not related to your major, it's just an extracurricular. Feel
Mhm.
free to add it. And one more thing, you might have hundreds of extracurriculars, but choose the very relevant ones. Something that you participated really, really long back might not be as useful as something that is recent. You might have done something really good, but really long time back. Just add something that is a bit okayish, but it is, if it's recent, that's what matters most, I think so. So I had extracurriculars, many of them, but I think I attached just 4 or 5 of them, and I made sure to mention a bit about them in the SOP. And again, you need to form a story, so how they actually connect to the main aim of studying what you are studying and everything. Extracurriculars are important. Just make sure to make the proper choice. I think that is important.
Hmm. That's very valuable. Yeah. Pooja, you want to add something? Pooja, Ayush.
Yes, for me as well. I just like did with Aadhaar, like how Aadhaar did. I mentioned everything, like what skills I have developed while pursuing my bachelor's, and then as in terms of supporting documents, I gave my extracurricular activities certificate. So you
Mhm.
need to prove the skills and expertise that you have gained through the certificate.
Correct. Okay. Anything from your end, Ayush? It's the same.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But if even if you don't have any certificates to back up your experience or your learning, still you can mention it in your personal statement, because they should know that how like how flexible you are, like how you can manage everything, no matter in which scenario you are put in, you can
Mhm.
like thrive in that. and they should know that. And that's why even if you don't have certificates backing you up, you should still like write about it in your personal statement. I did the same, and
Mhm.
also mention that what skills you have developed through that experience and what you have learned and what way you have grown. So that's really important.
Yes, very, very important actually. Even if you don't need to have a certificate for everything. For example, let's say you last year you or 2 years back you started, waking up early and doing jogging for 3 4 kilometers, and you have followed that for 2 years. That's a very, very personal thing, but that shows something about you, right? So that's just a lazy example, but yeah, something like that that you have done, you don't have any certificate for this, you can mention that in your SOP, about in your personal statement, that hey, this is I obviously, when explaining about some of your capabilities, your characteristic, you can add it at an example that I did this and I was successful at doing this. So it will show something about you. uh, let's say, for example, you have been learning Korean language through self-study. You don't have any certificate, nothing to prove that, but you can mention it that, hey, I did learn Korean language, I enrolled in this course, or I did studied through self-study, and now I can speak basic Korean and so on. They can check during the interview, but you can mention it in the personal statement. And yeah, as Adharshi said, don't add too many irrelevant extracurricular certificates that I during high school I did this in the uh, participated in this music competition, dance competition. If you are applying for science thing, it doesn't have much relevance. So either it should show something about your interest in your major subject, or some general qualities like your leadership qualities or your perseverance, and all these things is shown through that extracurricular activity, then I think it can be added. Coming to uh, the most, I think, important part, apart from the grades make you eligible, but apart from grade, I think the personal statement and SOP are probably the most important documents in your application. So how did you go about it? I would like to hear from all three scholars. When How long did it take you to write the SOP? uh, how difficult it was, what resources you used, and what any tips that you would like to share with, like, what to write and what not to write. Should they take help of AI and not? Or these things also should be included, because of these is like all the SOPs are very good because they all are from ChatGPT. So please cover those aspects as well. Yeah, anyone can start.
Yeah, so I think I still have the 5 drafts I created for the SOP. Every time I
Mhm.
used to feel, okay, now the work is complete. But the next day I used to wake up and see, this doesn't seem good. Let's try again. So every
Mhm.
time you wake up, maybe 2, 3 days later, 3 days later, or maybe you feel, okay, I've put really good amount of work. This should be the final draft. Let me get a recommendation from someone to have a
Mhm.
read on it. But you will get new suggestions. Like you didn't really thought of that thing and you can include those things. Maybe some part sounds really too good to be true. Like no human can write like this. So even if
Right.
you're taking help of chat gpt,
Mhm.
it's fine to take ideas from it, how to maybe form a story out of it. So let me actually summarize it down. What I did, I sat and I actually took a week to think what all I did in my life up until now, and I just made pointers out of it, just wrote it down very brief so that I don't
Mhm.
forget it again. And it became a very long list of maybe 25, 30 bullet points. After that, I thought now I have to make a story out of it, because simply listing in chronological order, like 2016 was like this, 17 was like this, is not going to work. It is going to be very uninteresting to read. And already they have a lot of applications, so something should catch their eye to get into the reading part. So do not mention things that are anywhere as already mentioned. In
Mhm.
the form itself, you mention your major, you mention your grades in a very detailed way, and you have attached a document for it. So do not mention like you were the best student in the class, you have got 90% out of it. SOP is not the place for that. SOP does ask for your educational background. If you go to the guidelines, they have mentioned very clearly what all points you should cover while telling your SOP. But it should definitely not be a thing that should just list all your achievements. It should definitely form a story, because you need to engage to people. It will have paragraphs to read, and no one will be interested in reading paragraphs if it does not feel interesting. So just mention all you have. I'll tell the very basic way that I followed. Just mention all you can think of, what you all did. Then maybe take a bit of help from ChatGPT to convert them into paragraphs. But again, that is just your idea. You can have a look and then now just start typing. Just start forming it in your own language. Create one draft, then refine it, form the other one, then another one. Repeat this step. Keep it doing until you feel satisfaction, and you will not be satisfied up until the document submission. You will be like, let's give it more time, let's give it more time. But no final draft will completely satisfy you. Just keep doing the process, be open to the suggestions. If you have put really good amount of work, but someone who reviewed it, maybe someone of your friends, and they give you a suggestion, just be open to it. Try to see if it is really the case, try to include it, and be very careful who you get you reviewed it from. Do not get it reviewed from your younger sibling or from someone who cannot actually judge it in a way that the committee will judge. Professors are really good people because they can see it from a perspective of an educational perspective. Please get it reviewed from someone who can actually review it, because you might have written something good, but the person who might not have the credentials to actually review it the way might not be helpful. So take out the bullet pointers, write in a very raw manner, start from somewhere. It will be a very overwhelming process and a very long one. So that is why it is very important if you start early on. The document submission came in my time around February, and time I remember submitting it around 20th of March, but the process started back in November. And even I was thinking November is still too late. You know, if you think that it's going to be released next year or maybe in upcoming months, just start today. Today is the best time. Keep on moving, keep on moving, keep doing that. And eventually you will find a draft. You started from bullet points and eventually have a really good paragraph. Do not mention things that you have mentioned already somewhere else. Keep it brief. Don't over explain anything. You will have a lot of things, but do not rush to put everything in that. Every line matters there. Every space is very important. To just choose it wisely, get it reviewed by the people who can actually review it, and just be open to suggestions and be open to changing. Do not get tired. That is the key, I guess, because it will take a lot of time, but you
Yeah.
will eventually make it.
Great. Yeah. Now, Pooja, how was your SOP writing process like?
It was tiring but exciting, I would say. So for me, I wanted to keep it very brief so that they don't spend too much of time on turning pages. I kept it like for one page. And how I did was I started writing about my own story, like what did I study, what skill I developed, how why when I started working, what I was working, and this way. So I started in October, I suppose, October or September end. And yes, every day is really you have to go to the SOP and see what you have written, where you have left. It's tiring, and the only thing is need to be focused on consistency. Like you need to be consistent daily. You
Mhm,
cannot do it like for a week and then sit back and again take the
mhm,
task again. You have to be very consistent and just write your own story and try to concise this, like keep it short. And when you start cutting down the stories, you will come up with a good draft. And when your story is ready in a brief manner, give it to ChatGPT for a grammatical or a paraphrasing or sequencing, and that's
mhm.
how your the study SOP would be developed. That was my case, and it was exciting. and of course get an external reviewer so that they can review, because when you write about yourself, you end up writing a lot of good things about yourself, which is
Right.
you need to show the reality, like what skills, what do you want to learn, what you don't have right now. That's why you're applying for this master's. So you need to focus on that as well. So that's the feedback I would give in terms of study plan. Sorry,
Okay.
statement of purpose, SOP.
Yes. Great. Ayushi.
So I completely agree with both of them. Like, it's a personal statement. You should never treat it like an essay. It's your story. Own it. You don't have to impress anyone. You just have to be you there. You have to put yourself out there. And when someone reads your personal statement, they should connect with it. So while writing a personal statement, I think you should be emotionally practical. You should
Hmm.
have good reasons backing you up there, but also it's your story, so you have to be like authentic there. So I think I connected my life experiences, challenges I faced, struggles, goals, everything with the like why I want to study in Korea and how everything and GKS aligns with it completely. So there should be like all the all in the- each of the points should be connected there. They should know, okay, this is your story, and that is why you want this scholarship, and that is why this scholarship can, this is how this scholarship can help you. So they really put a lot of focus on like your story, what you have learned throughout your journey. So you should explain that, no matter if you feel ashamed about your struggles or what, but that's what makes you special. That's what makes you human, and that's why they think you are worthy of this scholarship. That's
Hmm. Yeah. Very, very well inputs. So basically, yeah, one thing I would like to add here is that in this era of like AI, when I because I review like these personal statements, SOPs, a lot frequently, and some of them like are very well written, but they like just are too dry, and I would say instead of too good, you would say they don't. There is no human touch actually. It does like feels like, yeah, it's very very literary, and it seems like it has been. It's like I'm reading some cinema script or something. So if it is a, even if there are some little mistakes, I think that's totally fine because it gives it a human touch that, oh, some human being, this sentence could have been written much better in a perfect flowery English. But this is some student who has just completed a bachelor's degree. You can't expect that person to write like academician. So it's totally fine. I think keeping it human is very very important. The person who is reading it should read it like, okay, someone has written, some student has written it, and it's written like a student. For example, let's say if a 10 years old child is writing an essay, you expect it to be read like a 10 years old. If it is written like it's written by Shashi Tharoor, you would not even want to read it because it would not like read like a child story or written by a child. So it should look very sincere and human, and I think that's very very important. And obviously, don't repeat the same things that they have already seen in your documents, in like your grades and all these things. Maybe connect to those things, in some other ways. uh, Write about your struggles or some the things you did well during, in achieving those grades, or in achieving those degrees and all these things. I think that's more important. Yeah, and overall, it's a tedious process. So don't expect it you will sit down one day and you will just finish it, one review and then it's done. No, it will take multiple reviews. And if you sit key, okay, how to start, how to write the first sentence, it's the most difficult thing is to write the first sentence. How do I start it? So I would say that don't start with the first sentence. Just like Adar, she said, like, just jot down random things that you want to include. Okay, so you must be having like 10 things. This thing I do really want to include in my SOP. Just jot it down. Don't care about the sentence structure or anything. Just do a brainstorming. Keep writing everything down on paper. Organizing part can come later. You can organize it later. You can refine it later. First of all, like having everything down on paper is more important. What you want to include, what you want to be there on the SOP. So take your time and definitely get it reviewed um, by 2 or 3 people who first of all are capable of reviewing, and second, who care about you. So if the person is capable but they don't care like whether it is good or not, you're not going to get a good feedback. So they should care also. Then only they will be really genuine and honest in their feedback. Okay. One important thing that we missed was, I think we have covered it in other sessions, like in much detail, but briefly we'll go through it once again. The attestation part and this documents about, citizenship criteria and relationship with parents. What documents did you submit in, to prove that, to prove those things?
For the relation part, I think the birth certificate will do because you have to prove your relation to your parents. So birth certificate is the thing.
Okay.
About the attestation, I think that is the part you should be least worried about because it's a process that the agencies will do for you. And you should put all your time in the other documents that you have to write completely by yourself. So, as far as the documents are concerned, the passports never needs to be attested. But if your parents might not have a passport, you need to have one because if you get selected, you need to fly. So, but if your parents does not have one, just go with the national voter ID card, and but get it attested definitely. Only the passport is only document that does not need attestation, but rest all the documents about the parents' ID proof, your ID proof, the birth certificate to prove the relation to them, get it attested, and yes, it is a very pricey process, but just don't take too much time finding which one will be the best option. Just go to a trusted one. It is going to be expensive anyway, but do not spend too much time on I should wait, I should get better rates or this. Just spend your least amount of time getting the documents attested, send them, and just forget about it. It will come by parcel to your house, and just put your time in the other process. I had many of the fellow applicants that spent too much time in the attestation process. They got so much tensed about it. They ended up putting their time there, which they could have used in the other important part. So just get to a agency that you feel like is genuine because it's your documents anyway. Submit your documents and just give them their time. They will do the part. Do your part which you are required to do. I'll say this because I feel many of the students missed out on this opportunity this time because they got too worried about the things which they didn't need to worry. Worry about the part which actually needs just your work completely. So yeah, that's all I can add to it.
Yeah, I would like to add, like, for me, the same, but there were spelling mistakes in my documents. So in that case, you need to have an affidavit and you need to apostille that as well. So for those applicants who have spelling mistake in their parents' voter ID or in their birth certificate, get an affidavit and attached, apostille it, and then you are good to go. Just to say that the both person are same person, because sometimes you don't want to have a risk. You don't need to have take the risk of spelling mismatch, and they would come with that you are not
Right.
selected. So it's better to play safe, and if there is a spelling mistake in any of your document which is a mismatch, get an affidavit and get it attested and apostilled. That's
So
it.
you are saying that affidavit also need to be attested, like apostille?
Yes, it needs to be.
Okay. So for in terms of apostille, like all your educational documents, your mark sheets and certificates should be apostille completely. The original one or the photocopy one? Explain that one also because that's very
The
or
apostille means
which
you take
one?
you take a color xerox of your original. You don't submit your original entire thing. Just take a color copy, because you never know, you might need more in the future. So get a
Right.
color copy and apostille it. And for the affidavits, checks the content of it, because in my case, the lawyer drafted some things which was not relevant and which were incorrect. So I need to reprint, re-get the affidavits and get it apostilled again. So be very particular of it. It's better option is to get a color copy and then apostille it. It's a good option.
Okay, so the color copies of the bachelor's degree or master's degree, certificates, mark sheets, apostille them,
Yes.
and then the voter ID or passport of yours and your parents. Aadhaar, I think, is not accepted. Aadhaar, PAN, and all these documents are not accepted. So voter ID or passport or birth certificate. Even if you attach birth certificate, I think you need to add your parents' voter ID anyway, right? To prove
Yes.
that those
Yes,
are
I
the
have
people.
added. Yeah, I have
Mhm.
added my birth certificate and parents' voter ID as well.
Yes, so the apostille, those things. Again, the color copies of those things, or yeah. Anything else? Any other documents that needs to be attached or apostille or attested? Any corrections
I
in
would
name and
like,
those things affidavit? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
Ayushi, go
other
ahead.
documents, yeah, other
Uh-huh.
documents you can just like color copy it and get it apostille. But for the affidavit, as Pooja said, you can make an affidavit for the name corrections. I did the same,
Mhm.
but for the affidavit, color copy doesn't work. You have to get the
Original
original
one.
affidavit
Yes, yes,
apostille.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, because affidavit you can get again easily, like even if you need it. Yes, but certificates you can't get easily. So yeah, affidavit original one you can attach after apostilling. Mm, and other documents like extracurriculars and all those things, experience, all these things don't need to be apostille, right? They can be
They
just
don't need
added
to.
like that.
Yeah, because
Passport. Mhm. Yeah.
exactly, they don't need to be apostille. I had many students worried, like I have 10 certificates now, 10 into 2, 20,000. How will I do it?
20,000.
You
Yeah.
do need to do
You
that.
don't need
Just be,
that.
yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, just get the apostille, the very required one. And I would like to rephrase one thing very importantly, the
Mhm.
guidelines part. Literally everything from top to down is mentioned in that PDF we get.
Yes. Mhm.
The thing is that PDF is so long, we get overwhelmed reading it, and we are bound to lose on some points. I will miss it. So I'll
Mhm.
suggest just go through that PDF twice, thrice, maybe 4 times. Every
Mhm.
time you will find the answers to your questions. It's all
Right.
mentioned there. Just scan it properly, just scan it multiple times, and at
Mhm.
the end of the day, you might be left with just a single or maybe two queries, because literally everything is covered over the years. The frequently asked question, the guideline has everything in it. So just read it properly.
And also, I would say it helps sometimes uh, when you're going through the document for the first time or whenever you go through it, just keep highlighting the important part, because again you will have to go through all the pages again. Where was it? So keep highlighting. If you highlight the most important lines, you will get maybe 10 or 12 highlights, but they will really help you refine that piece of information. And yeah, ultimately will be, you will realize that all the things are already answered there, and you will only have maybe one or two confusions left, which you can ask other people. Okay, so the apostilling and all these things, and the last part, how was the interview process? Like how many rounds of interview were there? And one more thing I would add to the same question is like, why did you choose university track? Did you found that embassy track was not good, or what was the reason?
Okay, so
Okay, I
as
should go ahead.
for the as for the interview round, and if you are applying through the university track, you just have to face one single interview. So after you
Mhm.
submit your documents directly to the university, if you are selected in the documentation round, then they will mail you that you have been selected, and then they will send you the dates for the interview. And at that time, like it's just a one single interview in the university track. But if you're applying through the embassy track, then you have to give two possible interviews. One is
Mhm.
conducted by the embassy, which is like compulsory one. And if you are selected in the embassy interview round, then embassy will forward your application to the universities you have selected. But in the second case, it depends on the university if they want to take the interview or not. Like a 90% universities does take the interview, but so there are some possibility that university might not take your interview and then see round. But in the university track, like 99% of the universities take the interview, and they usually ask very general, basic questions, which you don't have to actually worry about if you have written your personal statement by yourself, because all the questions are from it. You already know it by your heart. Why you have selected this particular major, why this university, why GKS scholarship, why you want to come to Korea, what's the reason behind it, what's your strengths, what's your weaknesses, what you have learned throughout your journey. And it's just the basic questions. If you have like worked really hard on your personal statement and you know everything by your heart, you can just easily get the interview, I think. And the reason I selected university track was because um, there were very limited universities I can apply to, because I wanted to apply for business major in English track. My major is an English track,
Okay.
and there were very limited universities which was offering English track. So instead of instead of going to the embassy track and applying to the type A universities where they need a lot of experience and all. So I just went for the university track and applied to the single university which was like offering English track.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Adarsh.
Yeah, I would like to add this. You should not confuse embassy and university track as which one is easy or hard. If you are really sure about a university you need to get into, just apply to that one, because if embassy track offers you multiple options, then you will have that many interviews. So if you are sure that I just need to get into this university, your pressure will be already less. I just need to focus on one interview. I went through three interviews. I don't know why, but because the two professors from the same university interviewed me. Maybe because my major is technical, so I had to go through the technical rounds as well. But I think that is the case with the technical branch only. From the other scholars I heard, some even didn't have a single interview because their documents were enough and they just got the results. Mostly, it's just a single interview through the university track, and there are two rounds of it in the embassy track. Uh, do not confuse between which track. Just if you're really sure about a university, go through that. If you have multiple universities in mind, ki this is also good, this is also good as well, then go to the embassy. I'm not sure about this detail, but I heard it from some people that when the embassy is involved, they sometimes look into the name of the institutions you have studied from. So if you have a really prestigious institute name, you might be having no issues in the embassy. But let's say your university was a private university, or it is something that is not that much popular, there might be a chance that the embassy might you might be at a disadvantage at embassy, because embassy are in like an embassies in India. For the Korean universities, the university track, they won't pay much attention to your university name. They will look much at your profile. So keep that in mind. I had that point in my mind. Along with that, I was sure about the university. So just go through the single university, go through the process. If you are sure that it is the one, try to avoid as much hassle as you can if you're sure about it, and keep that in mind. Your institute name might be a point of consideration through the embassy track. That thing. Interviews might be for you, like they might be happening multiple, they might not happen at all. It is just purely based on a chance, but do not get afraid of it. Those are professors as well, and all of them actually were really kind to me. And because they are teaching, many of them had reasonable English skills to communicate. It's good to communicate with them. You know a basic Korean, greet them, have a bit of sentences here and there, and they will really appreciate it more than like anyone. So it feels tedious, but it's going to be really easy at the end. Do not get afraid of any amount of interviews. it's really going to be easy.
Great. Okay. Pooja.
Yeah. So for me, my university was very clear from the start, like what I want to study and where I want to study. However, I applied through the global network track, which means that I am not studying language. It's just the master directly for me.
Mhm,
So in that case, I see that opportunity, the global network track. My university was participating in that, so I thought
mhm,
it's a good opportunity for me to apply in this track. Not under
mhm,
university, there is a global network track as well, wherein few universities participates to promote the international cooperation within the countries.
mhm,
So for me, the interview was like for 5 or 7 minutes. They knew everything about me. They just asked me like, why you want to study? And since I'm from non-science background, they asked me like, how you gonna study data science? So I said that I am well prepared with the terms and I had did my homework very well to what I am applying for. So I'm
mhm.
pretty confident that I will excel in that. So that was a brief interview, like it was very short and they just had a basic interaction. That's it. That was it for me.
Okay. Uh, one more thing. How important are the TOEFL or IELTS certificates, or even TOPIK, or Korean language? Did like so first of all, the English proficiency certificates. Let's discuss that part. We'll come to Korean part later.
Yeah. But I think it's a very important and it also depends on the university guidelines. For my
Mhm,
university, they said that I need to have a IELTS score of 6.5 and above. So it was a mandatory criteria. So
mhm,
if I wouldn't have it, I might have not selected for this
mhm,
course. So that was the criteria. It depends on the university. And for me, topic was not mandatory. For
mhm,
other universities, they require topic 3 certificate, level 3 certificate.
mhm.
So it's based on university and its guidelines. But in my case, IELTS was necessary for sure.
In my case, any of these language proficiency were not mandatory, but
Mhm.
definitely because I had them, I think there is a part in the guidelines that shows that you will have additional pointers because of
Yes,
these
correct.
proficiency skills. So if you have scores, just submit them. And I submitted IELTS. I did not have topic back then, so I submitted the certificates from LKI.
Mhm,
At the end, you need to show that if you are studying the language, it's good to put a certificate. Do not think if it's not topic, so I should not put it. No, anything that shows that you are indulged in Korean somehow, put it out there. IELTS had the scores for them. Like it was I think about 20%, 30. Some criteria was there. A table is mentioned in the guideline. Similarly, topic had its additional points as well. So
mhm,
language proficiency definitely works.
mhm.
And why I can say that for a bit of more surety, because they actually mentioned it in my
Mhm.
interviews that
Okay.
these language proficiency that you have attached. So we got to know that you have been working on your language, not just English, but Korean as
Mhm,
well.
mhm.
So I they definitely noticed it. So language scores are really helpful. Add them. They are in the guidelines as well. And don't just look for it's not like IELTS is good or TOEFL is good. Every language proficiency test is good. Just put it out there.
Okay. Thank you, Ayushi.
From the past 2 years, of course, language proficiency. If you have language proficiency, then you will get extra points. And in my case, because my major is an English track, I had like it was compulsory for me to submit an English proficiency test score. So I did
Mhm.
submit my IELTS because it was compulsory for me. But even if you don't have anything, it's okay, you can apply. But it's definitely a plus point if you submit any language proficiency scores.
Hmm. So in the GK's guidelines, they don't mention that IELTS or TOEFL are necessary at all, but you should always check with the university that you are applying to. Sometimes they may have different criteria. Technically, GKS allows you to apply without that because there is no that is not mandatory criteria. But the universities will not take it favorably if you don't attach those, or they may take favorably if you attach those certificates. So if the university has this guideline that you should have IELTS or TOEFL or English proficiency certificate for that particular major, then it will be better to attach it. Regarding the topic one, they are still a little bit lenient because they know that you are going to study the language for 1 year there, and you have 1 year to get the topic certificate, Korean proficiency. But English one, they're not sure. So if you don't have the English skill, you're not going to, the English skill is not going to improve in Korea for sure. So they are certain about that, that whatever your skill is right now, it is the only thing that is going to help you in your major. So I think you can do that. In my case, when I had applied, I didn't have IELTS or TOEFL, but what I did was I got a letter from my university, my department basically, saying that our complete bachelor's degree course is conducted through English medium. English is the main language of instruction at our courses, and the students have sufficient English language proficiency, and they have completed this course. That certificate I attached. So if you can get that, if you are studying through English medium, if you can get that certificate from your office, in the absence of TOEFL, IELTS, that might also be like a plus. So whatever you can get, if you have been learning Korean language through any institution, attach those certificates. In absence of topic, that will also help you. Yeah, I think we have covered the major, most important parts. Two questions I would like to ask to all the scholars at the end. First of all, what was the most difficult part of this whole application process? Uh, if you can choose any one thing, Adharsh.
I think the big gaps and waiting for the result. That was the part. Because once I have done the entire process from my side, just waiting was the most
Mm,
difficult part for me because I wanted that I should have my mind in one place, whether it's a yes or no.
no.
And so waiting part was the most difficult for me. Yeah.
Okay. Pooja, what was the most difficult part for you?
For me, of course, writing the SOP and study
SOP.
plan. Yeah,
Okay.
because putting everything in just one page or 1.5 page of you
Yes.
is like,
Right.
are you doing it right or not? Whether you will be able to convince the selection
Mm.
panel. So that
Yeah.
was the critical, I feel, for me.
Okay. And what about you, Ayushi?
So for me, I think waiting was the hardest part because like once you get selected in the first round, you get happy, but again the same pressure comes back to you that what about the next round? So it's really actually a hectic, more hectic than the
Yes.
application, like preparing application itself. Yeah, because you have to put your whole life story in just like 2 pages. It's a tough thing to do. But while waiting for the results, it's even harder because you start to self-doubt yourself. You meet a lot of people who are applying with you, and when you come to know about their achievements, you will doubt
Mhm.
yourself. You definitely will. But
Yes.
at that time, you just have to believe in yourself and don't get nervous because if you get nervous, you will mess up in your interviews and all. So at that time, I would just suggest that believe in your story, believe in yourself. Don't compare yourself with others. Everyone is different, and it depends on the university what they are looking for and what you have to offer. So
Mhm.
I would just say that be positive, believe in yourself.
Yes, it's an exhausting process. The whole application process is very exhausting. That's for sure. Uh, okay, one last question before we take any other questions. If there are any other questions there from Ishita and Pooja. Overall, from the whole like, application process and until the selection, what were your major learnings? Like if you have to do the whole process overall again from start, what will you do differently? Like I think those will be very important tips for the other students. Like I think I should have done this like this.
I think patience is very important. You start out in really early months when you start preparing for the SOP, and if it's not a complete year, but
Mhm.
it feels like you have given around 10, 11 months to this thing. So
Mhm.
first of all, be patient with things, because there is the part where you actually mail the professors, as I did, to get a letter of acceptance from them.
Mhm.
And Korean professors are going to take time to review
Mhm.
your documents and give you a letter back. I
Yes.
used to get very impatient. Why are they not replying? Is my profile not good enough? Should I get
Mhm.
a follow back to them?
Mhm.
So patience is very important. Other thing is not actually talking out loud to myself. I used to just sit in front of the screen and just get lost in my thoughts. You need to write everything down that's coming to your mind. Just like you said, something name.
Mhm. Mhm.
You will have a lot of thoughts, but you will not
Yeah.
remember it the next day. Whatever is
Exactly.
coming to you, keep writing it down. Keep taking a
Mhm.
note. Keep taking a note. You will actually remember many things after you have a final draft. Oh, I forgot. These five things were also important. Let me add it again.
Mhm.
So patience is there. You need to be very active throughout the time. You also need to be very proactive. Like I remember, because of the 9 a.m. thing, I used to wake up in India at around 5:30 or some, so that I can mail the professor at the exact time 9 a.m. so that they get my email up in their inbox, so they have a chance to look it out. So you might need to put these kind of efforts.
Mhm.
Also, the university part, that will be exhausting. If you live
Mhm.
far from your university, you might need to go back and forth multiple times. There
Mhm.
might be times people might not understand you. It's
Mhm.
a long process. What are you doing? You should not expend that much of your time for a thing that you're not sure about.
Right.
But if you are really up for this thing and you know what you are doing, just keep at it. Do not leave the process in between because you get too much exhausted. Keep at
Mhm.
it, keep at it. And again, I think in all of it, just remain patient.
Mhm.
Everything, if not works out in your favor, or if it works out, in both the scenarios, patience will help you throughout, through your documents, through your interviews, and actually through the entire process. It will get you through. Remain patient, it will help.
Okay. That's, yeah, very good tip. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Next, who would like to? I think, should I repeat the question once? It was like, what was your one major learning? Like, if you have to do this whole thing all over again, anything that you would do differently, or
Mm,
anything that you would, any one more most important takeaway
I think
for
for me
future?
the takeaway is like whatever you do, plan and execute and be
Mm-hmm.
consistent. I
Mm-hmm.
would say that that's very important, and just rest, leave it to the universe. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, next year still applications are there. So you
Yes.
don't need to give up. That's the one thing, and just try find things that motivates you to apply, because for me in my entire this GKS journey I had watched like one or two videos only. I primarily focused on reading the guidelines, and there
Mm-hmm.
are other few friends like who has applied for GKS with
Mm-hmm.
me, and like four of us, like they still are there for in the Korea, like two of them
Mm-hmm.
are there and one is in India. So for all of us, like we were really motivated, we supported each other, and then any small minor issues and discussions we used to have, and then that's how we prepared. But the whole point is like keep motivating yourself, because it's not a one man journey.
Right.
It's really long, and you need to motivate yourself if you want this prestigious scholarship. And trust me, like as coming from you itself as an alumni, you have a different aura when you say that you are a GK scholar, honestly. So
Yes.
don't give up. That's it. And be patient, as Adar said, and just work regularly and daily. Bit a bit,
Yes.
you will get there.
Yes. And one thing that you also mentioned, another Hashi also mentioned that uh, actually, even if you are not able to make it, you shouldn't feel like you were not good, for this scholarship. Or there is a very, very little difference between the students who get selected and who are rejected, and it's not the ability all the time. So luck is also a very, very major factor I have seen in GKS. And fortunately, there is no like limit on attempts. you can attempt again next year, and you can attempt, like, for example, some people apply for bachelor's, they don't get selected, but later I have seen that the students are selected for the master's ones. After they complete their bachelor's, they apply again and they get selected. Sometimes they didn't get selected for master's, but they got the for PhD later. So yeah, it's not the end of the world, and you should just, even after completing this process, I think you should be just proud of completing this exhausting process. I think it's an achievement to just go through this whole process and successfully completing the whole thing. And will learn a lot of thing about yourselves, and it will really shape your personality in a way. Going through this whole process, application process only, forget about rejection or selection. Yeah. So yeah, Ayushi, you want to add anything?
For me, I think I should have started early because application takes a lot of time, and I started my SOP and started writing my SOP and study plan in
Mhm.
December, and because of that, I didn't really had much time left to like write my study plan because I
Mhm.
thought that it won't take much time. But when I started writing a personal statement, it took me
Mhm.
good 1.5 months to finalize it, and still like till the very end, you are like keep making changes to it. So because of that, I gave very less time to my study plan. But
Mhm.
because study plan is usually I think the same in the very beginning, like what you
Mhm.
will do after getting selected, what you will study, and it's very
Mhm.
basic things. But what matters most in study plan is thinking a good future goal. That's a
Mhm.
very important part. I must mention that
Mhm.
because like GKS is looking for future leaders and how you are gonna benefit your country and South Korea. That's so it's you have to be very practical, and it's not just like I'm going to do this after completing my major. You have to give a practical reason like how you should frame a good future goal, like okay, by step, like yeah, I will do this, after this I will do this, and this is how I'm gonna benefit both South Korea and my country. So
Mhm.
that's a very important thing, and you should give a lot of time thinking about your future goals. And I didn't really had time, so I would say start early and be consistent.
Okay, great. So yeah, I think I have tried my best to cover all the aspects of the GKS application process. But if still we made left something, or if there are any other questions that we have not been able to cover, Ishita and Pooja, if is there anything, or if you have any follow-up questions from your end?
I
Nothing.
think all the questions are answered very well by the scholars, so there are no more questions. On the YouTube, also, people are saying the session is very helpful and all their
Mhm.
questions are answered. So I think
Okay.
that's enough for
That's great. Yeah. So I think there were some these questions. I think this is important also, so we'll repeat once again. If there are any name mismatches, guys, in the parent's name, your name, or in certificate, in mark sheet, anywhere there is any like thing, any glitches there, just get an affidavit. Affidavit is the answer for that, and notarize it. Sorry, apostille it and submit. Don't take any risk. Okay, why take risks? It will cost you a little bit money, but yeah, at least you will be sure that yeah, you have provided it. Uh, for SOP, page limit and characters limit, they have already specified in the guidelines that this should be maximum this. So just keep it under it. Uh, don't make it too lengthy. Don't make it, too difficult to read. I think keep it simple. It, obviously, yeah, SOP, they also read the SOP. SOP also conveys like your language skills. That is one of the things that it conveys. But they don't, you are not, yeah, as long as you're not applying, for, English literature PhD or anything, it doesn't have to be your English skills. Like they don't have to be really, Shashi Tharoor level. That's not required. So, yeah, as long as you are able to convey your thoughts very coherently in a very, very, clear manner, that's totally fine. So, mm, yeah, I think That's all. If there are any other things, we will always be, answering your questions through LKI Students Group and also on YouTube and Instagram. I hope there is nothing, no other question. Like Pooja and Ishta, we are sure like we are not missing any important stuff. I think we have covered like most of the important things, right? So yeah, it was a very long session. So and I'm sure like so you must be tired. Particularly three scholars, they had to speak a lot. So first of all, I would like to thank you. Thank you so much for taking your time and help our students and many other potential GKS applicants who will be using this information that you have shared with us, you know, during their application process. Yeah. So thank you so much. And obviously I'll be contacting you again if I need any help. So sorry to bother, but yeah, and I expect that you'll be happy to help us, when we need. So thank you so much, and thank you, Ishita and Pooja, for coordinating everything so well and helping in organizing this session. Yeah, thank you so much. So let's wrap it up and let's be in touch. And all the best to all the GKS applicants, 2026.
Thank you, sir, for
Thumbs
inviting
up.
us, and I hope that we were able to address everyone.
Yes.
If not, then this platform is there, of course, the LKI platform. And thank you very much for having us here. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was really an honor to be here and be helpful to anyone who needs help. You can even reach out to us anytime. We would be happy to help. And we know how hard this is, and not getting answers is like the
Really.
most hectic thing. So yeah, we were happy to help, and it was really exciting to share our journey as well. Thank you so much for having us today.
And it's like the new session has started. Not new session actually. Yeah. It's in March, right? It's going to start the new session. Right now, it's in Korea. It's not vacation time. I hope, is it? It's not
Yeah.
in
For me,
February.
it's the vacation time.
For you, it's vacation time.
Yes.
Oh,
Till 2nd February. 2nd February, my classes start
Oh,
for spring.
wow, that's a long
It is, it
vacation.
is. Yeah, but for language students, I don't think you get a vacation during your language program.
Yes. Yeah. It's like very short. I think 1 or 2 weeks between two
exactly.
semesters.
2 weeks.
Yes, exactly.
I know firsthand how hectic life is in Korea, even if it is a vacation. The society itself, like it likes to be busy, and so even in that busy lifestyle, you have managed to spare 2 hours for us. So I really appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, and let's keep in touch.
Sure, definitely.
감사합니다.
Thank you so much.
감사합니다.
네.